So I just wanted to let you know about that particular setting. Okay, I'm going to go back out to my main screen. Just do the left on the upper left side of your upper left corner of your screen. Hit the little left arrow to get out. Is everyone back at the main screen now?
I can see the setting.
Okay. And Todd, are you staying here for this class?
Yes, I'm staying here with
I'm
you.
going to make you co-host. Here we go.
Thanks.
And if anyone has any questions, you can say hi to Todd or ask him a question. All right. Is everyone at the main screen right now? Bonnie? Yeah, okay. So looking down below the search bar, you'll see restaurants, gas, groceries. These are, when you're traveling, you might be looking for gas stations. So it's an easy way to just tap on gas and you can see where all the gas stations are around you. It's very handy to have that kind of feature. They'll even tell you, look at that, the price. Which you can see which gas station is cheaper. If I look here, I've got, let's see, $4.20, $4.14, $4.16. So you can look around and see the, and same thing like restaurants. If you're traveling around, this is a handy feature. You can click on restaurants. This is a menu that if you take your finger and slide to the left over these options here, it moves. You can look for coffee, takeout, keep going, pharmacies, hotels, and then there's a more button. If you click on more, the last selection, well, now it gives you everything. All the things that you could possibly be looking for wherever you are. They have them under categories: food and drink, things to do, shopping. So you might be looking for brunch. You might be looking for a park or a museum. Maybe you're looking for groceries, car dealers. Whatever you're looking for, you can click on these filters here. ATMs, so if you need some cash, you can find on the map. So that's the nice thing about these filters, is they help you find items. They're very handy when you're out and about. You don't even have to be traveling far. Even if you're just in your area and maybe you went somewhere new, maybe you're a couple hours from your house. It's a fairly new area. Maybe you've never explored. Know that you can quickly with Google Maps figure out, okay, I need some gas. Where do I get gas? Where do I go to an ATM? You can find these things by using the app. So they've thought of quite a few things. Mailing and shipping. So it'll tell you where post offices are, probably the UPS, those type of places. Any questions about that? And to get out of the screen, just in the upper left-hand corner, click on that little back arrow, go to get back out to your main screen. Rosalind, were you able to get the app on your phone? You'll have to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's an Apple map, and I just downloaded the Google map, but I'm not able to use it yet.
Well, now you can test them both to see which one you like. Well, maybe from what you learned from Google Maps today, you might be able to transfer some of those ideas at your Apple Maps. Because there's a lot of similarities to the two programs.
Yeah, I'm sure I will learn after this lesson.
Yeah. All right. So those are the filters to find restaurants, gas. It's handy if you're traveling with a group of people, and you're all deciding where do you want to eat lunch. That's always the thing when you're traveling with people. You can easily, open up Google Maps. Maybe you're sitting in the back seat of the car. You can open it up, tap on restaurants, and then you will be able to move with your finger. You're going to just slide the screen and move ahead a few exits and see if you guys can decide on a restaurant that is coming up. So I've done that before. It's very nice feature. All right below where we did these filters, the restaurant, gas, and groceries. There's another little icon right below. It looks like a stack of papers, maybe. It's a couple squares, little white icon. If I click on this button right over here on the right, upper right, if I click on this is going to give me map type. Right now, I'm looking at just a regular default map. It's just a flat map. If I click on satellite, well, now I'm going to get satellite imagery. So I can see now the satellite. If I click on terrain, it's going to show you hills and that type of thing to see what the terrain is. Like I've got some hills over here to the right of me here. You can see how it's hilly. So you can see those type of things while you're traveling if you want to see what it looks like. And then there's map details. You know, if you're doing public transit, maybe you're traveling and you want to figure out where the buses are and the trains. You could click on transit, public transit. It'll show you the train routes and the bus routes in the area near where you are. Traffic. You can click on traffic and see what's the traffic look like. Let's see. Oh yeah, see I got some red coming in here. A little bit of traffic. Biking, if you're a biker, if you click on this biking button, it's going to show you the bike lanes and the routes that might be in your area for bikes. They have a 3D feature to give you a 3D effect on your map if you want. COVID-19 info to show that status in areas that you're in. And then there's Street View. If you click on Street View, you will notice all the blue lines that show up when you do Street View. What that means is all the blue lines, these are all the lines that Google has driven down. They've mapped. They've driven their little cars up and down all the streets. And wherever you are, and what you can do with your finger, you can just go ahead and, I'm just going to click on this blue line right here. If I just double click on it with my finger, you might have to tap a few times to get it to open up. And then at some point, it will convert to the satellite. There it goes. You convert it, converts to the satellite, and then you can see what the street looks like. So I can see here, this is a street here. And I've just taken my finger and I'm just scrolling along. I'm just going to do a 360 look around. And you can kind of see what it looks like. And since this is Google Maps, if you tap a little bit ahead of where you are, it should move forward because it has mapped these streets. So you can go and take a look at, the area you're in, the neighborhood. This is really nice when you're traveling or, wherever, where you can look ahead of time at what things look like. What does the area around your hotel look like? Or if you're going to go somewhere, what's the parking situation going to be? Or, what's around here? So you can find for landmarks, famous landmarks, or just looking for someone's house. Maybe you're looking ahead of time. You have to go to someone's house. You look up their address in maps, and then you can see exactly what the house looks like. So you know for sure where you're going. So that's what the Street View is on your phone. Very handy feature. Were people able to do a little Street View in your area? Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to see if there's any questions. No. Okay. Go ahead, Rosalind. And you'll have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
On the previous page, under map type, there's the word default. In the internet, the word default used a lot.
Oh.
Default means fail. What does that mean?
And the map type, which one?
Yeah, you see, map type. Under the map type, default.
Default's just default. It's like, for instance, let me zoom back out. It's just a flat map, just a flat map. That's their default. And then if you want to see, like right now, I'm just looking at streets. It's just a regular map, right? But if I want to see the houses and everything, well, then if I do satellite, now I'm going to see all the individual houses and the buildings. You see the difference? Now I'm seeing the buildings. You know, if I have to zoom in with my finger for them to show up, but you can see individual houses and stuff. That's the difference, is the view that you're seeing. Now, this does take up a little more memory on your if you're on your laptop or if you're on your phone. It's a little bit slower when you're in satellite view because it's got to keep doing all this imagery. It will move faster on just the default, but the satellite is handy if you really want to see the details of the area that you're going to be in. So it's up to you. So when I go to default now, I just see a regular, it's just a map. Any other questions? Oh, this is a good one to show you now too. Now, right below where we did the map info, you see this compass that showed up? It showed up because I did this. I moved my map around. Look at, it's showing you where north is. And I'm just taking my fingers and I'm just twisting the map. See, look at it twist around. It's moving around. It's still showing me which way north is. So this happens when you're traveling. You're looking, you're moving your map around, you're zooming in and out. You're trying to find things when you're traveling. And it's good way to lose your orientation as to which way north is. And if you want to align your phone so that the north is the top of your phone, all you have to do is just tap on this icon. Just tap on it, and then it goes north, and then it disappears. So it will orient your screen back to the north being the top of your phone screen. So that's just a little tip there. So you notice how it's gone? But now if I do the same thing, I'm going to do it again. With my fingers, I'm going to turn the map. See, I'm going to start twisting it. You see it shows up again. The little compass is trying to show me which way north is. And then when I tap on that compass, it will bring it back to north and disappear. So if you don't see that compass, you know that north is going to be the top of, straight out through the top of your phone, that you're looking north is this way. If you see the compass, now you got to watch where north is. North is now really, it's to the right and north a little bit. So that's to make sure that you've got your orientation right on the map, because it's easy to mess with it. You start moving things around, you're looking for a particular restaurant, or you're trying to figure out what the street name is, and you're pinching with your fingers and you're making it wider, bigger and smaller. It's easy to get that orientation off as far as north is. Any questions about that? All right, moving down the right side of the screen, we come upon this white button that has it looks like a compass. This white button with the little compass look to it, this is where you set your home position. When you click on this, it's going to show exactly where you are. So you click on it, it brings you back to your reference point, which is important if you're traveling. You're looking at buildings and you're trying to figure out the streets and everything, and it's easy to scroll away from where you are. So when you're going to do navigation or anything like that, make sure you can always set your blue dot so that you have it set on your map right. All right, now let's talk about navigation, because that's really what this is all about, navigation. Below the white dot here, we've got a blue dot with a little right arrow. This is your navigation button. Go ahead and click on that. It's on the lower right-hand side of your screen. And then it will come up since I already set my blue dot, it says your location because it knows what my location is. If I was somewhere else, it will pick that at whatever address I had scrolled over to, it'll pick that. Now you can choose a destination. I'm going to choose SFO, San Francisco Airport. You could do anything in your area. You could do a grocery store, whatever you want. You can just pick some place that's nearby where you are that you'd like to see directions for. You could pick your airport or bus terminal or wherever. And then what you'll see is some routes. I've got 3 routes. This one over here to the right is a 35-minute route. This one's 33 minutes, and this one's 28. I'm not too sure why they're telling me to take the 33. Oh, there could be a problem maybe on this other route. I'm going to click on the 28-minute one, see what it says. No, nothing. There's a little message here. Speed trap. Maybe that's why. It looks like someone, there's a cop sitting on the side of the road here, apparently, and someone marked it as a speed trap. And I'll show you how they did that. We'll talk about that once we get into the navigation. So that might be why they routed me over to this other one, because someone said there's a speed trap. But you should see 3 different routes. You could pick the route you want. It defaults with the car. So it takes 28 minutes. It's going to be a 28-minute route. In the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you're going to see the 3-dot menu. If you click on that, this will give you your route options. And you can avoid highways, tolls, ferries. Those are your choices by car. Although I don't know if I avoid highways. I don't know how I would get down there, but to the right of the car, you see this. It looks like to me a mask, but this is a bus or train. It's 1 hour and 18 minutes. If I click on this, it'll show you your public transit. And they will break it down by different routes for you to take. They'll show you the bus number, and then you'll have to switch to something else, and then you might have to walk. And they'll tell you how long all of these things will take. So you can choose the line you want. If you go in the upper right-hand corner for options, this one has the most route options, is the bus. If I go under route options here, now I can choose my modes. Maybe I don't want to do subway. Well, I can uncheck subway. Or you want best route or fewer transfers, less walking. Maybe you want wheelchair accessible. So all the buses and trains, maybe if you have a person with you that's in a wheelchair, or you're in a wheelchair, or you just can't walk stairs, then you know it's wheelchair accessible. Or lowest cost. All these different routes could be expensive. So you want the cheapest way to go. You can select those under the transit. To the right of transit, you see the person walking, 5-hour walk, nice easy walk to the airport. But they'll show you the route, the best route for someone walking. This can also be handy if you are traveling and you want to look for an easy way to walk through a city or something. You could try the route. To the right of this walking one is a person with their hand up. They have integrated Uber and Lyft. If you are an Uber or Lyft person, you can easily get into their apps through Google Maps. And then the last selection is biking. If you're a biker, it's going to show you the best route if you're on a bike, for a bike to go down there. So those are all your transit options that you can choose. I'm going to pick the car. Yeah, the other ones don't seem too good. And let's say you put in it's not like a friend's address or someone's address, and you kind of know how to get there, but there's that one left turn. There's always that, one part of the route that always kind of you're not too sure about. Towards the bottom of your screen, you'll see steps. If you click on steps, it'll show you what all the steps are. And you can click on the picture and you can see what it looks like. So, let's say, I know how to get there, but there's that one turn on Lincoln. I have to take a look at it. So you can come down here and you can go ahead and, click on the picture. And then you can see what it looks like. See, this is the freeway. This is out on the freeway. But you can see whatever, you can look all the way around and see what that step looks like. So that can be handy if it's a tricky. So you can go down and and it's nice too, because you can kind of take a look at the route before you get in the car. You can go and, have your mind set on where you're going to be going, how many turns is it going to take, how, where are the tricky turns? You can come and you can know all of that before you even get started. So this is a handy little spot to take a look at. And when you're done with it, you can just click on the show map. Go at the bottom here, just tap on show map and it will show you the map again. So questions so far, anyone? All right. Well, once you have this all set, now you're ready to actually do the navigation. Have, the person speak to you and tell you which turns to make and everything on your route. And the way you start the navigation is you click on the blue start button in the lower left-hand corner. It says start with an arrow. You click on the start, and if you're moving, your little blue dot's going to start moving, but I'm not moving right now, so we're just sitting here. But trust me, if you start moving, your dot's going to move, and they will start talking to you. In the lower right-hand corner, where you see this symbol, looks like a fork in the road type thing. If you click on this takes you back to your route. So if you want to say you're in the middle of your navigation, you want to look again to see how far has your dot made it down your trip that you're taking? How much longer you got to go, or what is it? What point are you at? You can see your little, here's my blue dot. It would be moving down this blue line as I'm traveling. And then if you want to go back to the navigation, there's a recenter button. It's a white button right here in the lower left. That's going to recenter you back to the navigation. As you're navigating, it's going to tell you in the upper left-hand corner what you're going to be doing. Are you going straight? Are you going to make a left turn? Are you going to make a right turn? You're going to see those showing up in the corner here, so you know what you're doing. They'll usually tell you a little bit ahead of time that there's going to be a left turn coming or a right turn coming. You'll see that also. On the right side of the screen, there's a little speaker button. Make sure that's turned on. You haven't muted the person. If you can't hear any speaking as you start navigating, make sure this hasn't been accidentally muted. Make sure it's unmuted. And as you're traveling along, remember earlier, one of my routes, someone had marked that there's a speed trap. The way they did that, this button right here on the right side of the screen that's got the little plus sign, if you click on this is where you can report. As you're traveling along, if there's a big crash, you could make a report. And you notice how someone reported the speed trap. It shows up on Google. So if there is a big problem in the area, you can go ahead and report it if you want to. You don't have to. But if something's coming up, you can let other drivers know that there's a situation coming up on the road. And most likely, if you, I would say that there's a crash, I would imagine Google Maps would route people to another route at that point. They probably wouldn't let you go down a route that there's a crash. So that's just to let you know about that there. Any questions? Janice, how are you doing? Oh, Janice, can you hear me? Okay, maybe not. Oh, she's got audio. She's connecting. All right. So any questions about navigation? Oh, Janice, there you are. How are you doing, Janice? You can unmute yourself if you want. All right. All right, then. Let's exit out of this. We can just hit the X in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. If you want to get out of the navigation, we can get out of that. That'll take us back to our search. And I'm going to click on my upper left-hand corner of my screen, the back button, and that should take you back to your main screen. All right. Now let's talk about saving a location. Like, let's say offlining a map is what we'd call it. Let's take a trip to Paris. Sounds good, huh? All right. Let's say you're going to go. You're planning a trip. And you're not too sure if you're going to have access to the internet or not on your phone, but you really need a map of a particular area you're in. Maybe it's a little tricky. And you want to make sure you don't get lost, and you don't want to be without a map. What you can do, like this is we're in Paris. I'm going to pull up from the bottom of this screen, gives you more information of an area, right? So right about here, I'm going to pull up a little bit, and then you're going to see download. If I click on that download button, what's going to come up is the map. Now it shows you the size. Download will use up to 120 megabytes of your free space. Now, if I take my fingers and pinch them out on the screen, make it maybe zoom in a little bit. Now I'm only using 65 megs. So you can see the size. I kind of like this, that they show you the size of the file in case you have any space restrictions on your phone, you know ahead of time. And once you have the whatever area you want on your map set, you just have to click on download, and that will download that map to your phone so that it can be used even when you do not have any access on the internet. This also works for hiking, skiing. Let me show you an example here. I'm going to go back out here, and I'm going to search for Breckenridge in Colorado. It's a ski resort. I scroll in a little bit here. These are their ski runs. See, they got the names. I'm going to scroll in so you can see the names, all the different ski runs. Now, especially when you're hiking and skiing, you may or may not have access to a signal when you're hiking or skiing. It depends on the mountain and where you are. Yeah, sometimes our cell phones don't work when we're out in nature. So you can come to a place like this. And if you're going to travel somewhere where you are going to do hiking, I encourage you to take a look ahead of time to see if Google has mapped the trails. Because then what you can do is, for instance, here we've got all the ski runs. So all I have to do is pull up from the bottom of the screen again, where this little dash is, and it says Breckenridge Ski Resort. Pull up with my finger a little bit. Now, it doesn't show you a download here. It's kind of funny. It's not consistent. You won't see a download here. Instead, you go to the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see 3 dots. So if you don't see the download button here, don't panic. Just go to the 3-dot menu in the upper right corner. Click on that, and then you'll see download offline map. They're just inconsistent. It's not, that download button is not always in the same place. But at this point, it looks the same. Here it says it's going to only use up 10 megabytes of my phone storage. So I can scroll in a little bit if I want, if it lets me. Actually, I think that's the highest it goes. So if I want to store this, I just have to click the download, and that will download it to my phone. And this way, you know, when you go hiking or skiing, you know, you don't have to panic, because, you know, the worst thing is you open up the phone and you realize you have no bars. So that's how you can prevent that from happening when you're traveling. So you'll have it on your phone. Now I'm going to go back to the home screen. I'm going to get out of this one more, go back one more. Now, where to find those maps that you saved? I'm going to go to my profile button again on the upper right-hand corner. And then down towards the middle, it says offline maps. I'm going to go in here, and I should see the maps that I've saved. And then you can just open them up and use them offline. You have a question, Rosalind?
If you go to mountain area or desert area, and your Wi-Fi carrier has no signal, so what should people do before they take those trips?
Well, do the offline map. That's what I would do, is, you know, have an offline map on your phone so that you can access it from your phone. You don't have to, because you won't have any internet access. Yeah. Yeah, that's what this is about, is saving before you go. You have to do this before. If you're on the mountain and you have no service, it's too late. You're not going to have the map. So this is something to do ahead of time. If you're going to go to somewhere that's more rural or more, you know, in the woods somewhere, hiking, that type of thing, you know, check before you go. See if Google has, you know, like they mapped these. The runs are showing up on the maps. So, you know, some of the national parks, some of their hiking trails show up on Google Maps. So you can look ahead, and then just to be safe, I would say, yeah, it wouldn't hurt to save a little map just in case you don't have the data doesn't show up on your mountain or in the woods, wherever you are. Does that answer your question, Rosalind?
Yeah.
Okay. Bonnie, how are you doing? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
I'm having trouble getting back to my home screen. I seem to be stuck in the satellite mode.
Oh, go to the icon in the right side of your screen. It looks like 2 pieces of paper piled on top of each other. Click on that button, and then you can go to default if you don't want the satellite.
Okay, I don't see what you're.
It's this icon right here. Right here.
Oh,
It looks like it's on the right side, kind of upper right side, below groceries. And if you click on that, then you can select the map type. So if you don't want to be in satellite, you can just go back to default.
yeah, I can't.
You just click on default, and it should come off satellite.
I don't seem to have that button that you're.
Oh, you don't have this one? Are you in the, you might want to do your back button. Are you back to the beginning page?
Well, that's what I've been trying to get back to.
Yeah, do the back button on the bottom of your phone, or you could have a back button towards the, like a back arrow on the upper left side of your screen. You might see a left.
Yeah, I have them both.
Yeah, just click on those. And that should take you back.
It just takes me back to my main menu then.
Yeah, the main screen.
Well, it takes me out of Google.
Oh, then just go back in if it takes you all the way out.
Yeah.
And then when you go back into Google, you should be back at the main screen.
Now I'm back at that satellite one again.
Oh, now look for that button. You see the button with the like pieces of paper on top of each other
No, I don't seem to have
on
that.
the right side. What type of phone do you have?
It's an LG
Oh,
Android,
gee,
old,
yeah.
old one, smartphone, but old.
You should have that button on the right.
You're talking about the shortcuts.
No, she's talking about the map type. The icon for the map type, it's on the right side of the screen.
I have something that says, it's blue that it says go. And then
Okay.
I have a, I don't know, it's a round one with a black, it's a white circle with a black circle inside with a black dot.
Yeah, that's the one to set your home position. So how about above those two? Do you have way up below groceries? Do you have that little white icon with the?
I don't have anything above
Hmm.
except the where it says search here and a microphone, and
Oh, it's below that. Do you see where it says groceries?
I don't have that.
Oh, you don't have that. You know, it could be the version of you might want to update your Google Maps.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I have
Yes.
seen the groceries. I was there at one time, but now I just can't get back to anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, when you find that, the groceries, look for the button below, and that's your map type. It's hard because you can get a little lost in this app. And Google Maps, they update it quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I haven't done this for a year or more.
yeah, you might want to update it because they've done a lot of updates to the app.
Okay. Thanks.
So it's probably worth getting it updated. And Saroj, I'm probably killing your name. How are you doing? Do you have any questions? No, maybe she stepped away. All right. So that's doing the downloading the maps on your app. So let's go to talk about, let's see how much time we are. Okay, so we're at about 20 after. Let's talk about a little feature. I'm going to go back to I'm going to go back home. When you click on the button on the right side of the screen, that's white with the dot in the center. That's your home button. It takes you home.
We can see the right side because our pictures cover.
Oh, sorry, I can drag over. There we go. Is that better?
Yes, you just move it. Good, very good.
Sorry about that. When you click on this icon right here, the white one with this is your home. It brings you to your home where your blue dot is.
Oh, okay. Now I see.
And did you see it?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And what you do is just tap on your blue dot with your finger. And hopefully what comes up is a blue screen. You can share out your location from here. Let's say you want your son or daughter or someone to know where you're going. You could share out your location to people on your phone. And you could share out, like, for instance, you could say, I'm only going to share it out for, you can do a duration. You can share it out for an hour. You can share it out for as long as you want. And then you can save the spot as parking. Let's say you are somewhere. You can click on your blue dot and say, I'm parked right here. That's good if you're going to be wandering around an area, walking around, so you don't lose your bearings. You can find where your parking spot is. And then they have another feature called Calibrate with Live View. And when you click on that, this is a thing that when you are outside, you can try playing with this on your phone. You step outside and it's going to scan the signs and the buildings around you. So you click start and it goes and it takes a look at what's around you. Of course, I can't do it right now because I'm not outside, but just to show you what this feature does. There's a little map here. Just a little video that shows where it's, as you're walking, it's going to show you which way to turn. So when you set navigation, like right here, they'll tell you, you got to turn, take a right turn here. So it's showing you, it's kind of like you're in the map. So it'll navigate and tell you as you're walking around where you need to go. All you have to do is glance at your screen and it's going to be telling you, just like you're in the car, except it'll just be showing you with big arrows telling you which way to turn on different streets. And the nice thing about this is because sometimes you don't know where you are, right? When you're traveling, you don't know the address. You don't really know what street you're on. You can do the live view and it will tell you where you are at that point. And then you can figure out where you have to go. So that's a feature that you can play around with when you're outside walking around with your phone. All right.
Is it good that is it important that I first type in my address here?
When you're going to navigate, you mean when you go to the navigation? Are you talking about this screen right here?
How do I put in my home address?
Well, you don't have to. If you just click on this, on the lower right-hand corner of the screen, you see the white button with the circle and the dot, right?
Oh,
If you click on that, I'm going to click on it right now. It's going to show where you are. And then when you go to navigate somewhere, like I'm going to hit my navigation button, it already knows the blue dot, your location. So it knows where I am.
okay.
And then all you have to do is choose where you want to go. So, like for instance, if I want to go to the airport, now it's going to show where I started all the way down to the airport. Now, if you don't click on that button to do your location, then you're going to have to type in where you are. But to save yourself, because when you're just walking around, sometimes you don't know. I mean, all you have to do is press on this button, the white button with the circle and the dot. When you click on that, it will figure out where you are, and then you just have to say where you want to go. You don't have to worry about typing in addresses. So let's say you're somewhere, you're walking around in a city, and then you decide, oh, I want to go to such and such museum. Well, all you would have to do, you wouldn't have to worry about address. You would just tap on this button, the button with the dot. That would place your blue dot on your location, and then you could just type in the museum you're looking for and then hit the navigate, and then it will navigate you to the proper place.
But after you walk like half an hour, you may not be able to go back to the original place.
Well, you mean well, then if you walked a half hour in one direction, then you will need directions to go back probably, right? And then you would click on the button with the dot in the middle, wherever you are. You walked a half hour one way, right? So then you have a new blue dot, right? The blue dot is where you're standing, wherever you are, right? Doesn't matter. So if you walked a halfway over, when you click this circle with the dot in it, your blue dot is a half hour over where you are. So wherever you're standing, Google's going to find you. And then from there, you can navigate to a new place. So you don't have to really know the address. I mean, you can put in the address if you want. Does that make sense, Rosalind?
Yeah, say if you are traveling in Paris and you
Yeah.
started from a hotel, So
Yeah.
you have to put in the hotel address. Otherwise, you don't know how to go back.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yes, yes, you could do that. You could put it in. You could also save it as your location. Like, let's say, like, okay, let's say we, let's see if I can do this. If we went to say Paris, any excuse to travel, right? Let me put it in here. Let's see if we can do an example. Of course, it's kind of hard. I mean, yeah, you would probably put in, I see what you're talking about. You would do a route. What you could do is save where you started. Trying to figure out how to do this as an example. Oops. Let me go back. What you could do is wherever you are, you're going to hit your location button. You could pin it. Just give it a pin. Let me go back out here. If you tap it lightly, you should have a marking. It should leave a marking. There we go. You see the little dot? So it knows where you are.
Mhm.
And then you could save that. So that, and it should save your location of where you are so that you could go back to it. Should be under my favorites. Let's see. Let me scroll up here. Go back. So it pinned it under saved on the bottom screen here. You'll see the saves and it'll show the address so you can go back to it. So if you were at well, what you could do is that when you're at a hotel, pin it, do the little red dot on there. So it'll get saved. And then when you are out and about wandering around, at that point, you could just tap on that and then it would navigate you back to that place. You'd be able to navigate. See, that's the way to keep the address.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Oh, we're at the end of time here. All right. So I want to thank you for coming by here today. We have all types of Google classes, Google Sheets, Google Docs. I have a virtual tour of San Francisco, Great Arctic Adventure. We also have a class on Google Earth and Google Maps, using them for like looking at famous places to travel and go to, walking up and down streets, that type of thing. Using the Street View, which we talked about today, doing Street View, that type of thing. You'll be getting an email at the end of this class where you can fill out feedback for the class. Also, you can put in any class ideas or anything like that that come to mind. You can invite friends if you are on a mobile device. You can tell a friend about a class. You can post if you're on Facebook or other social media, you can always do posts there. You can email a friend about a class. If you're on the website, you can click here to tell friends about the classes through email. help@getsetup.io is our email address that you can use to converse with us. You can tell us again, if you're interested in doing an interest group, maybe you like to garden or something like that, you can go ahead and ask to talk to someone by emailing, or you could suggest new classes. If you have an organization that you think could use our services, you could give us the name of someone that we could contact them. Or if you want to request a copy of the session recording, you can do all that by accessing help@getsetup.io. All right.
Thank you.
I hope this was helpful for you today in learning how to use Google Maps. It is a complicated program. It's a little buggy. I will have to admit, it's a little quirky. Sometimes you try to get in and out of screens. It's not the smoothest. It could be smoother. But they keep updating it, make sure you have the latest update, and eventually, it is a good, for navigation, it is actually pretty good. It's just that some of the navigating between the screens is a little weird to get used to. So thank you everyone for coming today, and we'll see you guys next time in another class. Enjoy the rest of your day and take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.